Hello, I'm Crickets and welcome back to I Have a Story. Let's see if this will work this time. This is part of where my videos get so messed up. I'm so tired of dealing with these electronics. I made this video once, but when I went back to play it, it only recorded the first 5 minutes. Every day, this is all I deal with. Every day with these electronics. It ruins my videos. When you have to make a video 3, 4, 5 times, it's frustrating when life is already frustrating and I'm already on my edge of my seat, ready to fall. Trying to collect myself here. This is driving me insane. Every single day I deal with this. And then I try to connect to the internet and my computer just keeps automatically disconnecting. Brand new computer, 6 months old. How many of you deal with this all day long? Cell phones, 5G, 5 bars, and you can't make a call, get a call, have no service, no nothing, but you got 5Gs and 5 bars. I'll talk more about this later. I'm here to talk about my shoulder right now. I've been talking about my shoulder for almost a year now. This happened to me in November of last year. People have seen the struggles I've had with my shoulder. Here's my MRI report that I finally got. It took me from November all the way up till November of last year to September of this year to finally get an MRI. To find out, we should have done this in the first place. I talked about this in my reports or in my videos that do you take a car to an auto shop and expect them to just start slapping parts at it, or to put it on a scanner and a computer and determine what's wrong with it before we decide to start doing more damage? Well, that's what, I mean, again, I talked about this. If I have tears in my shoulder, like the physical therapist said he thought I had, that's just going to cause more damage. I need to have surgery. I'm going to put this I would like to thank the new subscribers that I've had recently, and I've been really down in the worst depression of my life, even through everything I've been through. I've been in the worst depression of my life. You take my kids, you take my rights away from me, and you take my finances away from me, all illegally, even by our systems. I don't have anything left. I don't even want to live. And when I try to get help, nobody wants to help. Nobody even wants to believe this with the evidence. But guess what? We just got the 200 pages of court documents about these judges. And I'm fortunate I have my network of people slowly starting to grow. And when you sit in limbo and you get silence from people and even negative remarks from people who don't want to believe, it just buries you even more. This picked me back up a little bit. I mean, I cannot believe. You're not going to believe what we found is going on in this system. In our state. Oh my God. Corruption beyond anything you could really totally fathom. Even we found money fraud going on in the system. I'll be bringing that this week. Please stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, share, and help these stories get heard, because when I'm going to be dropping some major bombshells this week you're not going to believe, but we have the proof. So, fortunately, I have 2 lady friends who just spent several days going through these documents, and we've all been trying to put it together and share our mind, our thoughts, what we're finding. I'd like to thank the ladies and the people who are standing up, who care enough about this to help. But I need your help too, so please help. It's the only hope I have, is when I start getting positive things happening again. I need help. I'm begging for help. And I'm walking a very thin line right now. You think this all sounds so crazy? How do you think I feel trying to live in it? I'm losing my mind, and I need help. So many people need help. Let's start getting people help. So for those of you who are new to my channel, those of you who may just get to see a video here and there, part of the algorithms of playing the internet, don't even know who my videos are getting shown to or not getting seen, or how this all works, and trying to make it work. So I damaged my shoulder in November of last year. It took me all the way up till September of this year to get an MRI done. Now, just like I said to my physical therapist, and I'll say to you guys, does it make any sense? Would you take your car to an auto shop and they're going to say, well, we're not going to put your car on a computer and diagnose the problem. We're just going to start replacing parts and tearing it apart and charging you money and maybe messing things up. We're not going to actually look at what's wrong with it and fix it properly. Isn't that how our human body should work? Shouldn't we do imaging and find out what the problem is before we try to hurt it even more? I talked about this before, about how if I have tears in my shoulder, like the physical therapist said, he believes now that at that time when I left and my sessions were over, I believe there's tears in your shoulder. Well, then that means if we keep working a torn shoulder, it's just going to cause more damage, more pain, and set me back even further. So why would we do that? And for those of you who are new and joining in and tuning in, I have folders for all the different categories I talk about. And I'm going to put this one in My Life Monday, and today being Monday, and I usually like to share my life and the things and the struggles and what I've been through with my life and how I deal with it and how I've tried to do the best I can with it all. I'll put these in the folders, and when I talk about the medical stuff, I have a folder of medical. You can go to my channel, click on my link, and go to my channel, and then go on my playlists and look at all my different playlists, because I talk about a lot of different topics, but they're all of them have one thing that we all have in common, and that is life. This is life. What is going on in the world around us, and what our medical industry is, I can't even believe. I expect professionalism out of my medical industry, out of my courts, out of my judges, out of my law enforcement, out of my state officials, out of my government. Am I asking too much? Am I asking too much for professionalism again in our country? And we wonder why so much bad is taking place. And decades of knowledge and information, and we screwed it all up today somehow. I don't get it. I mean, I do. There's a lot of people who are just trying to ruin our country and ruin these systems. And with our medical industry, we've let a lot of foreigners take over who don't like America. Now there's even videos coming out of medical professionals who are foreigners coming out even saying, screw you white people, screw you Americans. We don't like you. Well, then why are you in our medical system trying to treat us? Oh, wait, because it's all about titles and paychecks and destroying our country. We really need to wake up to this, people. So here is my MRI of my shoulder. I don't know what all this means. I don't know why we can't put things in layman terms other than to make them feel special, and it's how we keep the division of titles and paychecks right. We got to use words you don't understand to talk about simple, common things. But in order for us to maintain control and power, we'll have to put it in terminology you can't figure out. And that's part of what all this is about. It's absurd. So I do have multiple tears in my shoulder. Multiple tears. This right here is my MRI report. I'm going to need major surgery. Now here's another big problem I have. This report came in a week and a half ago. Last week on Monday, I was supposed to have a phone appointment over the phone with my doctor, my primary care physician, to go over my shoulder. That appointment was for 9 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. At 9:10, I call my doctor because our phones here just don't work all the time. You can have 5G, 5 bars, not make a call, not be able to send a call, not be able to receive any text messages, internet, nothing. But you show 5G and 5 bars on your phone. And that holds true for everybody who lives here. Every single person who lives here. It's a huge thing in our community that people are really getting tired of. Why are we paying? Our rates keep going up. We're paying more and more and more, and it just doesn't work. How many people out there are experiencing that? How many of you have 5G, 5 bars, and you can't do nothing? Or there's just certain people that you can call, but they can't call you. Every time they call, go straight to your voicemail. You get no phone call. Nothing shows up on your phone unless they leave a voicemail. They can call you day in and day out, but they can't get a hold of you, but you can call them, or vice versa. What's going on with this? So at 9:10, I call my doctor, and I said, hey, I was supposed to have an appointment 10 minutes ago. I don't know if my phone's having problems or if you couldn't get through to me. And they said, oh, no, doctor's running behind. He'll call you in about 20 minutes. I said, all right, no problem. Sat here and waited. Here we are Monday, 1 full week later. I haven't gotten a phone call back. Am I expecting too much from my doctor to be able to maintain appointments and call me and keep me informed on what's going on? My counselor is livid. She's like, you need to blow up their phone. No. If I'm going to have to spend so much time trying to do their job for them, then I need put on their payroll. I'm disabled with no income, but yet I may not have the physical abilities. I certainly have the mental when I can keep my head screwed on straight. So I was supposed to have my appointment with my doctor last Monday, 1 week ago today, in order to go over these reports and figure out treatment. It's been a full week. I have not heard a word. Our medical, am I expecting too much for our medical industry to be professional? I don't know what to think in this country anymore about anything. Now what I've learned about our court system, oh my God. When I share the stories this week, your mind's going to just pow. It's going to explode. You're not even going to believe the stuff, but it's all right there on document. I can't even believe what I learned about our court systems, even though I've been in it for so long and understand how terrible it was. Nope, I don't think I knew squat after what I just found out. So I've really had it. I'm really struggling. I did also have my bladder appointment and finally got scoped and more feeling violated. But this is my life, part of why I can talk about the things I do, because I've been through so much that this is life. If we can't talk about it, how are we supposed to face it? And I have to face it. So I did get my bladder report back. He found multiple lumps on my bladder beyond the 2 that we knew of before. One of them is from surgery 2 of them are from surgeries that I've had prior. One's on the back side, so we couldn't actually feel and detect it with our hands. But after the imaging of my bladder, I have multiple lumps on my bladder. Fortunately, they're benign. None of them are showing cancer. They're just water pockets and full of water. The bleeding that I'm getting in my urine is because my bladder is so damaged that the interior lines are bleeding. And there's nothing they can do about it. I just have to live with this pain. I have to live with what we think our medical industry is so smart and they know how to do everything, and it's like taking a car to a shop. You just fix it. I'm learning more and more and more. There isn't always a solution. You just have to live with it. So there's an update on my bladder. There's nothing they can do about it. I'm just stuck living in this pain. I have a wardrobe of robes that I can't even wear, even just a loose fitting underwear, because anything touching my bladder is so painful that I can't even stand up. And it causes even more bleeding and progression with my inabilities. But I'm just stuck living with it. But even them, they were supposed to call me back 2 weeks ago. The Monday before I was supposed to have my appointment with my doctor, it was the Friday. So, a little over 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks and 3 days ago. But I called them because my doctor put me on a medication the week before I was going in to get tested and see the bladder specialist. He prescribed me a medication for my bladder, but I did not want to take it until I saw the bladder specialist. I'm only a week out from hopefully seeing him now. So let's wait until we see the doctor before I start taking medication for it. Well, while I was there with the specialist, he prescribed me another medication for my bladder. And I said, well, my doctor just prescribed me one. I don't remember what it is. And of course, it's not in a system. He couldn't just look into my records. I don't know why we cannot have medical records that our doctors can read and get the information. I've dealt with so much of that alone. But I couldn't remember the name of the prescription, and I wanted to make sure that I should be taking it according to the specialist, especially after we finally get testing and find out what's wrong. I told him I couldn't remember, but as soon as I get home, I'll find the prescription and I'll call you. Well, I called them, and no call back from the doctor again. That's been over 2 weeks. Am I really expecting too much out of our medical industry to be professional? Is there anything professional left in our world anymore?